And this is Karen with NewClevelandRadio.net. And it is Tuesday, October the 6th already. And it is time for What in the World with.
Oh, that's my cue. Paul Seaburn. Hi, Karen. It was satellite lag. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, welcome to What in the World. Thank you for joining in. For all of you on YouTube, all of you on the podcast, whether you're listening live or in the future, glad to have you with us. That's Karen Hale over there blowing her nose.
Yep, allergies.
It's no, there's nothing wrong with her. Okay.
No, I'm fine.
Our producer and co-host and right behind her is John DiNallo, our sports guy at What in the World of Sports. Hi, John.
Hi, Paul. Hi, Karen. Another week.
Another week. That's right. Yeah. It seems like the days are as long as weeks these days, and the weeks are lasting like months. But we're not going to talk about that because the whole purpose that you joined us at What in the World is to have some fun, to hear about some news that you don't hear any place else, that's not depressing, that's not political, that's not bad business or all that other stuff. That's not why you came here. You came here to hear the weird stuff. Our motto, what's our motto? Always strange, sometimes real strange, sometimes unusual, always funny. No, that's not it. Real news, that's it.
Yes.
Real news, sometimes strange, always funny. There you go. They say that the brain is the first to go. I think I've had about 3 or 4 things go before the brain, but it's fast on its way, obviously. So anyway, let's get right to it. The stuff I have written down so I don't have to try and remember it. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about, by the way, if you follow me on Facebook, and I encourage you to do that, some of the topics that we're talking about are not necessarily the ones that I posted on Facebook yesterday that I said we'd be talking about, because things change. And I got some really good stories today that I think are much better than what I had planned to do. So hang in there. I think it'll work out. So we're going to talk about chimpanzees that hunt for truffles. Normally it's pigs. Now they got chimpanzees hunting for truffles. We've got, how about that? We got a guy who hacks into coffee makers. So if you have a smart coffee maker, you may want to tune into that. What else is in here? The mosquito bite champion of Australia. The guy who he holds the world record for being bitten by a mosquito, by many mosquitoes, not just one, but many. So Karen, I know that's the kind of stuff you love to hear about.
Yeah, love to hear about it.
We've got a bunch of trivia. We've got some movie and TV trivia, some strange sports, courtesy of both the Guinness World Records and our good buddy John, who and our spouses as well. That be sure that I'm sure they'll be sure to tune into this because they'll be interested in hearing about what we have to say. So let's get right to it with a couple world records. And I have a lot of visual aids this week, John. So I'm sure you'll be happy to hear that.
I am always happy to hear that, Paul.
Oh, and then of course you just reminded me that at the end of the show we'll be playing Bluff the Co-host. So
Absolutely.
always fun play Bluff the Co-host. So let's get right to it. We go around the world for our stories. We're going to start with Pakistan. A man in Pakistan broke the Guinness World Record for cracking walnuts with his head. He cracked 254 walnuts. That's right. No, probably about here.
Oh, here.
254 walnuts with his forehead in 1 minute. 254 in 1 minute. That's a lot of. I don't even want to think about it, but I think I speak for all Americans when I say I feel your pain. Which, speaking of which, we live in the greater Cleveland area, and I also used to feel that way after watching Browns games, but just we no longer feel that way, right, John and Karen?
No, in fact, it was a great win on Sunday, and the Browns are credible again. They're 3-1.
3-1 for the first time since 2000. So everybody's in a good mood about at least one sport in the Cleveland area. But I'm thinking, here's this guy. How do you top breaking over 250 walnuts with your head in a minute. How about pistachios? Now that would be pretty cool.
Ooh.
Wouldn't that be? Because they're harder to open, and they're
Sure.
there's not as much space, so he's going to be banging his nose into the table. Or speaking that's right. Speaking of what does it look like? We need to have a rehearsal. I will say, there he is.
Oh
There
my
he is,
God.
smoking walnuts. Yeah.
I have a headache.
I didn't want to post the gross picture, but there's an after picture of him with an obvious, huge mark on his head and drips of blood dripping out of it. But you should see the guy who he was up against, because apparently this is a competitive sport in Pakistan. And there was another guy who was racing him who only did like 230, and he looked bad. He definitely had some. He needs to work out, or maybe use coconuts, or switch to peanuts or something soft.
Wait, I have a question here. Was there was there a physician on site? I mean,
sure, yeah.
really?
Guys in the wedding jacket.
Medical attention
Of course,
after this?
yeah. This is Pakistan. I doubt that there were. I don't know. There was. I have no idea, John. But good question. Next time I'll make sure I research that, because that way I know you'll be asking that question. So we move on to. I believe this is in Japan, where they have more time on their hands than we do, obviously. So someone in Japan they didn't invent it, they developed a Rubik's Cube. Now, it's not the smallest Rubik's Cube, but it's a very tiny Rubik's Cube that can fit on your fingernail. That's how tiny it is. I was going to have a picture, but it's too tiny. On sale for $1,800. For a little tiny thing that you got to go like that. So this is a perfect gift for a guy who needs practice unhooking bras, because if you can do this, you got to be able to do that.
There's a value to that, Paul, obviously.
Obviously. Is it worth $1,800, John? I don't know.
I don't know.
But, let's say you have this skill, and maybe you're not married, so you don't have bra opportunities. What else could you use it for? I'm sure there's somebody hiring people who need to thread needles. So you could get a job maybe at a sewing factory, threading needles. You could maybe work at a spice place where they need someone to sort sesame seeds or poppy seeds, that flick out the bad ones.
Boy, you're really stretching this one.
I know, yeah, I am. It's because I got to get to the segue, Kim.
Oh, okay.
Or you could get a job sexing mosquitoes. You just get a little tiny. I'm sure that's a job. Which, by the way, I mentioned the story. There's a guy in Australia who's a researcher into various mosquito-borne diseases, and he now holds the world record for the most mosquito bites at one time. 5,000 mosquito bites.
Oh, that itches.
Yeah, he's you think? He stuck it was like the old commercial for Off or one of the mosquito repellent. He sticks his arm into a thing full of mosquitoes, and they could count them, and he had 5,000. But what's really amazing is that he also lost 16 milliliters of blood from the 5,000 mosquitoes, because that's obviously what he wanted them to do, so they could inspect how much blood that each one took out. And I'm thinking, he ought to qualify for like the cortisone customer of the month, or Benadryl, at least, for something like that. I don't think he got anything for doing it, because it's part of his job. So the poor guy, yeah, you're right. I'm sure he's got to find something to do to take his mind off of the pain. And so, I'm thinking, well, what would I ask him? What are your hobbies, for example? Well, I used to be a scratch golfer. Um,
Oh,
but but you know, with this virus thing, but we haven't been able to play, so I'm itching to get back up on the course.
Uh,
Um, well, in the meantime, I'm scratching off lottery tickets.
get some value out of it. Right. There
There
you
you
go.
go. That's right. I get all those jokes out. So so then we go to Truffles. This is in the Democratic Republic of Congo in Africa. I didn't know they had truffles down there, but apparently they do. And these researchers are following bonobos. Now, bonobos are a form of chimpanzee with a unique characteristic that I'll get to in a minute. But they're skinnier and they're not as plentiful. So they follow these bonobos, trying to figure out why they're going into the forest, and they're coming out with these truffles, crystal encrusted truffles that they've never seen before. So of course, these are right away. These are going to be the world's most expensive truffles because they're rare, and monkeys find them, not pigs or dogs, trained dogs or trained people. But I can't, obviously the lovely Donna is watching this. I normally don't bring up truffles when we go to the restaurant because they're so expensive. And if she brings them up, I always say, well, I'll just hold off. I'll get you some chocolate ones when we get home. Because those are, they're still expensive, but they're much cheaper than restaurant. But, not everybody is interested in spending that kind of money on truffle, but they'll probably be interested in these because bonobos are known for, how can I put this? I'll just say it. They're known for holding monkey orgies. They they are very oversexed apes, and that's there's videos. You Google it. Google bonobo sex, and you'll see some pretty strange stuff. So
X-rated site. I'm sorry, I can't go to it.
well, I didn't mean now, Karen.
Oh,
So I'm sure if they can prove that these truffles are what makes bonobos so sexually crazed, these things are going to be. John, you and I should import them, okay? Because this would be a great retirement income, importing these truffles for people who want to act like bonobos. Think about it.
he's thinking.
I'm sure your wife's gonna let you do that, like mine
I don't
would.
think that's happening.
No, I don't think so either. Okay, so let's move on. Get off the planet for a minute and go out into outer space. And we've talked about this on previous podcasts. The long-awaited high-tech toilet, the low odor, toilet that was supposed to go to the International Space Station has finally been delivered. And it's sitting in the corner because they have to wait for a plumber to come up and install it, or they do it themselves. Okay, which they can probably figure out how to install the thing and make sure it's vented properly and all that good stuff. But this thing, they have to be careful, obviously, because I think it costs like multi-millions of dollars. And it's probably low flush, so they're going to be jiggling that handle 15 times before the stuff finally goes out. But if they do get it installed, what I think they should do is videotape it and use it for people who are thinking about becoming astronauts. They could show about, life on the space station. They could call it This Old Space Station and show them how to, it's not all fun and games and launches and all that other stuff. Sometimes we got to do real work, like installing toilets, taking them out. I wonder what they did with the old one. They did. You can't. There's no lawn outside. There's no lawn in front of the International Space
No
Station.
tree line.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any alien junk service to pick them up. But anyways, so enough of that. Let's get to the most popular story that I have posted this week. This one does not come from the Mysterious Universe, which is where I'm the editor and head writer. And a lot of these stories come from mysteriousuniverse.org. Take a look at those. There's more no videos of the bonobos, but more videos and pictures. This one is all about Dolly Parton. Everybody knows who Dolly Parton is, right?
Yes.
So Dolly Parton says that she wants to pose for Playboy when she turns 75 next year. Now, you may not remember this, but Dolly Parton was on the cover of Playboy when she was 32. Okay, so that's 30, that's 40, over 40 years ago. She wants to be on there next year. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, so this is Dolly Parton, okay? She's 75. This will be the first Playboy shoot where they have both a fold out and a fold down. Do I need to do a visual on
No,
that for
I
you, John?
know. I
No.
got
I do have a visual, not of that, but here's the lovely Dolly Parton.
she is lovely.
Yeah, and so that's the 74 over there, I guess, and the other one's the 32. So, who knows? Now someone pointed out to me that the Playboy is no longer in print, which is true. The last issue was in the spring, but she's talking about being on the internet. So, and there's a paywall, so you'll have to pay to see it. But even so, 1978 to what is this, 2020, 2021. She said she wants it to be tasteful. So, you know what that means, not naked. But, maybe her husband gets into seeing that kind of stuff. In fact, the rumor is that when that first picture came out, that's when her husband was inspired to come up with the name of Dolly's amusement park, Dollywood. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Dollywood.
Yes, Dollywood. Like Hollywood, Dollywood. Yes.
Dolly's.
Play on words.
We went to rehearsal. That's why we're not laughing.
I know that's right. I know. And then when the show just went off the deep end. Okay, let's go to hacking into your coffee maker. I don't have I have an old-fashioned coffee maker, but apparently you can get these coffee makers with chips in them that you can dial from your smartphone on your way home and get them to start so that when you walk in the door you have fresh brewed coffee. Boy, if you need that, no offense, John, if that's you, but this is
none taken.
So this company came out with a smart coffee maker, and sure enough, somebody immediately hacked into it, and they turned on the heat, they made it shoot water out of the spigot, they spun the bean grinder with no beans in it, and they displayed a message on the little display that you've been hacked. How clever. So I'm thinking Starbucks must be behind this because they don't want people buying coffee makers. They want them going there and spending as much on a cup of coffee as you can buy an entire giant can of at your local grocery store. But so the lovely Donna always says, I want my appliances to be dumb as the people on the Wheel of Fortune, which is pretty dumb. No intelligence whatsoever. So, if having a computer background, I enjoyed hacking into things myself. If you're going to hack into a coffee maker, at least make it do something clever. Make it talk. I would love to hack into a coffee maker, and knowing someone gets up at 6 o'clock and they're bleary-eyed and they walk up to their coffee maker and pull the pot out. And I would hack in and have it say things like, you don't look too good this morning. But and then they fill it up that cheap brand again. Why not Starbucks or Javalia or when they start to get angry, that's to back off. Okay, hey, did I ever tell you why me and Mrs. Coffee don't get along anymore? I would. That was just in 2 seconds. So I given enough time, I could drive people crazy with that. So speaking of driving people crazy, well, let's get just a little bit of trivia here. So this story comes, I believe, out of California. A new study found that spinach, which we normally eat, it's not just good for your health, it's also good for your car if you have an electric car. Turns out that they can make batteries out of spinach that are more powerful and more efficient than the metallic or whatever the other chemicals they use kind of batteries. So think about that. Tesla already is, obviously. So they're coming out with a brand new car powered by spinach called the Blow Me Down the Road. Now, that is a Popeye reference.
Yes, I got that. Oh my.
Those of a certain age know what that is. One of Popeye's favorite sayings was "Blow me down." So before I go any further with that, so Tesla is actually coming out with this car, the Blow Me Down car. Only uses olive oil, of course.
Oh.
There's more. There's more.
Oh, okay.
Are you sure there's more?
One more. I'm sorry. Yeah, it gets good mileage, but the pickup's a little wimpy. So I threw some references in there that we're going to do a little trivia.
Oh, we've done very nicely, Paul.
I thank you very much, John. So Popeye had a lot of things he was known for saying, a lot of idiosyncratic saying. Can you remember any besides "Blow Me Down"? Karen, I'll start with you.
I'm trying to think of the song.
I live in a garbage can. No, it's
Spinach because I eat my spinach.
Yeah, I'm proud to the finish.
Yeah.
That's right, because I eat me spinach. I'm strong to the finish because I eat me spinach. I am what I am.
Oh,
That's all that I am. That's all I can stand because I can't stand no more.
I remember that very well.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That's
do it.
it. That's right, with his wink. Yeah.
Yeah, I am disgustipated. That was good. I like that one. If we can't be friends, we can be enemies. And this one, I like this one. I don't ever remember him saying this. I ain't no tailor, but I know what suits me.
that's
clever.
Good one.
That's pretty clever from somebody who's Popeye. and this one, let us not jump to seclusions. I might use that one. And then this is my favorite one here. Where's the entrance to the exit? Man, Popeye was brilliant.
Yes, he was.
So yeah, so then I put another reference in there to Wimpy. Everybody remembers Wimpy. Okay, what was Wimpy's favorite saying? John, I'll throw that one to you.
I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
For a hamburger today, that's right. Wimpy, turns out that wasn't his full name. His full name was J. Wellington Wimpy. Sounds rich. I don't know if he was or not. It doesn't seem that he's rich if he can't pay you for the hamburger till Tuesday. He also said, these are a couple things he was said. I'd like to invite you over to my house for a duck dinner. You bring the ducks. And this is my favorite. Let's you and him fight.
Let's you and him fight.
Hey, way to go, Wimpy. That was pretty good. That's not a wimpy at all. That's pretty clever. So, so moving on to a little more trivia here. This comes from Pennsylvania. Remember the movie Silence of the Lambs?
Yes.
I remember it. No.
You don't think so? Okay, a big horror movie from
right.
the early 1990s. Okay, so I'll direct my trivia questions to you, John.
Okay.
So it's considered to be like one of the greatest horror movies of all time. Won the big 5 Academy Awards: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Screenplay. Just blew them out of the water. The stars, the FBI agent who was investigating the case was Jodie Foster, Clarice. I can't do it. An impression of Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter was played by Sir Anthony Hopkins. And Buffalo Bill, who was the serial killer that this was all about, the cannibal serial killer, was Ted Levine. Ted Levine was born in Bel Air, Ohio, down along the Ohio River. So he's a local Ohio boy. He was on Monk. He played, if you were a Monk fan, he was the mustachioed police chief that Monk always talked to. So good role for him too. So before we talk a little bit about basically the houses for sale that they shot the movie at, but before we do that, John, this is I like to see who turned down the role, because Jodie Foster won an Academy Award for this. Prior to that, she had just won an Academy Award for another movie. So obviously she's a proven talent. So they're casting for the movie. Jodie Foster reads the script. She says, "I want to do this. This is the role made for me." The director says, "I don't think so." His first choice, Michelle Pfeiffer. Now, I can't imagine Michelle Pfeiffer in that role. Second choice, she turned him down. She said, "It's too gross for me." She turns him down, so he goes to his second choice, Meg Ryan.
No.
Yeah, it's Sleepless with the Cannibal, I think was what it would have been called with that. So she didn't like the subject either. So then he goes to Laura Dern. I mean, that's pretty far down the list, from Meg Ryan to Laura Dern, when you got Jodie Foster just begging to have the role. Laura Dern turns it down. So he finally gives it to Jodie Foster. Then for Hannibal Lecter, okay, Anthony Hopkins in the role of a lifetime. Before they offered it to him, they offered it to Sean Connery. Now, I can't, John, the mask, you remember the mask? I can't see Sean Connery.
No, some things don't go together. That would not go together.
There you go. There you go. So not only, so Sean Connery said no, they went to Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Dustin Hoffman of all people.
No.
There's no way
he would pull that off. No.
Yeah. And Daniel Day-Lewis, who I think at that time was in every movie. So they just would throw stuff at him and see if he wanted it. Then they finally went to Anthony Hopkins. The Mask, this is for you, John, was created by a guy by the name of Ed Cubberley in New Jersey, who designed hockey masks for NHL goalies. So it was based on a design for a hockey mask. The novel, it's based on a novel. It's a sequel to The Red Dragon. It was inspired by an actual serial killer in Philadelphia. Now, the house that they shot it at was in a suburb of Pittsburgh called Perryopolis, near Pittsburgh. It's for sale for $298,000. Now, I don't know if you remember the house, John. This is a picture of the house. Nice little house, 1.7 acres.
Okay.
There was couple of pivotal. I'm starting to sound like Popeye here. That was pivotal. A couple of pivotal scenes. One was in the dining room, beautiful dining room. There was a train coming into a scene. There's a train track right in front of it, and the basement. The basement is where the final action took place. And I don't want to spoil it for anybody who didn't see it, but that's where the final scene is shot. There's a hole in the basement where the cannibal keeps his victims before he eats them. So now I know Karen's going to watch it after hearing that. No. So anyways, so $298,000. The realtors say, it would make a great B&B, which it would. It's a pretty novel thing. It also has some historical value. It was once the original train station for the area was there.
Oh.
So might be a good place. Now, I don't know if you remember, and I thought I had a picture of it. I guess I don't. The clue, John, that how did Jodie Foster's character Clarice they knew that the victims were victims of Buffalo Bill because of one clue, and that was that he would leave a moth in their mouth, and not just any moth, but this was this giant death's head moth. And it actually had on the back, it looks like there's a skull on the back of the moth. really cool thing. So a nice touch. I thought I had a picture, but I guess I don't.
That's a nice touch, leaving a moth in their mouth.
Yeah. You
Uh,
gotta see it, Karen. Oh, you gotta see it.
no, I don't have.
I don't know, Karen. If you see it, give it a whirl. See if
I don't
see-
Yeah, just
give it a whirl.
So,
What a-
so it sounds like it might be a good deal, except in 2015 it went up for sale again for $300,000, and it finally sold a year later. It was on the market for a year, sold for $195,000, and the neighbors were actually glad that it sold because one of the bidders was People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, and what they wanted to do was turn it into an empathy museum where people could come, and in order to get empathy for animals, they would wear the skins of abused animals.
Oh,
Wear the skin.
Wear the skins, right? Which is, I thought long and hard. I thought, could I make a movie out of this? There's got to be, whatever it wouldn't top Silent of the Lambs. So, but go see it, Karen. Rent it. And then if you know the movie, once you've seen the movie, then have an old friend for dinner.
oh,
Oh,
So that's the story of the story of the Silence of the Lambs. So we always like to talk about world records, as our fans know. I got a couple of sports records for you, kind of sports, okay, for the first one. This one comes from Italy, and I do have a picture of this one because this is so unbelievable. Man in Italy set a Guinness World Record for the most scoops of ice cream on a single cone. Now, it's one of the big waffle cones, okay, so it's not one of those little tiny ones, but this is still, he has 125 scoops on a single waffle cone. And Karen, with that face of disbelief, I knew I had to bring a picture.
unbelievable.
That's what I said, unbelievable.
It's
That's a
too
lot
much
of ice cream. Multiple flavors too.
how does it stay together though? I mean, with that many, doesn't it gonna-
It was soft.
Oh,
It was what's that stuff that's in your neighborhood, Karen? It was frozen custard.
yeah.
a variation.
So I don't know, John. I don't know. However, what's even more amazing is that he ran away with that. He had it in his hand and he ran away because in the audience was the man with the world's longest tongue. And he was
You're not pulling our legs on this one, are you?
Oh yeah, no, we haven't gotten to bluff the co-host yet.
That's true. That is very true.
That's a real story.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I don't know. Basically, the real story is that he divided it up amongst the audience, who of course were socially distanced. So
Right.
I don't know. 6 feet
No
apart.
worries there.
It took a long time. Yeah, I'm sure it did. So anyway, so now I have another one. This one comes from Texas. So for our friend down in Texas, Tex Chick and Steeler Girl, and Tex Chick's husband, the high price, high maintenance import. I gotta remember all these nicknames for people. So a girl in Texas set the Guinness World Record for the woman in the United States, I guess no, in the world, for the longest legs. Her legs, she's 6'10", okay, so she starts out with long legs. Her legs, 4 feet 5 inches long, each one of them. There's a little variation between the two, but close enough for government work. 4 feet 5 inches long. She didn't, when she puts on pantyhose, they don't run, they do a marathon. I'm full of them today. I'm sorry. It was the Popeye thing. Yeah. So believe it or not, okay, you would think that you have pretty unusual unusually long legs. If you're 6'10", and she doesn't even hold the world record for being the world's tallest woman. World's tallest woman is 7'3", so she's 5 inches below the world's tallest woman, but she beats her on the legs. I mean, not
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean. She didn't think that her legs were all that unusual until she ordered a pair of leggings online, and they had to send somebody out to measure because they couldn't believe that they were that long. So, can you? I can't even. I get winded. I would get winded putting leggings on 4.5 feet worth of legs. I don't think I could reach that. I can barely touch my toes as it is. 4.5 feet, a long way off. And if you don't believe me, here's the legs. There's the legs right there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh,
This picture showed their length better than the one of her standing up. Those
Wow.
are long legs
those are long and bony.
and bony. Yeah. Well, I'm not even going there. I'm not making that comment. I'm
Good
not making
idea.
that comment at all. So yeah, so that's the thing. She didn't know her legs were that long until she had the special order leggings just for those legs. I mean that's pretty long. The so of course everybody's going to say, well, she must play basketball, right? She doesn't play basketball. What other sport would she be good at, John? Think about it.
Volleyball.
Volleyball. That's a good one.
Volleyball be right there. Karen's right on that. Sure.
Yeah, I would think she'd be a good hurdler
Yeah.
because
Oh yeah. Sure.
she to her running the hurdles is like just running a 100-meter dash. She
Yeah,
wouldn't even know that those barriers were there.
Sure.
I don't know how she'd be on the high jump. It might be the high step over. But yeah, she played volleyball. Okay, so very good. You both guessed that. Now, so whenever I think of volleyball, I've mentioned this before. John and I have known each other since college. We were fraternity brothers at the same college. And if you remember, John, we used to compete in a variety of sports while we were in the fraternity, of which volleyball was one. Softball, we played touch football.
Basketball.
Basketball, that's right. Basketball, that was another one. So the fraternity was involved in a lot of different sports. So I'm thinking, John and I have known each other since college. I can't think of too many sports that we could compete against each other or with each other in today. So so I asked him. I said, John, can you think of any sports that the two of us might be able to compete in today? And I said, and maybe throw in something that our wives could compete in too, in order to make, they're not big sports fans. The lovely Donna is not, and I know your wife is not as well. But they might find something that the four of us would be interested in competing in. So John says, "Oh, I got just the thing." So John, tell us about this sport that you think we could all compete in.
Well, Paul, the sport is wife carrying. Wife carrying.
Here, go.
No, wait a minute. I didn't misspeak. It's wife carrying.
Okay,
And it's one of those interesting sports that actually originated in Scandinavia. And this, well,
Scandinavian women. No, I'm not going there.
Good thing.
But anyway, so the sport has its origin really in three countries: Finland, Sweden, and Estonia, which is really not a Scandinavian country. It's more of a Baltic state, but it's nearby. It's in the same, general geography.
For the purpose of this story.
Yeah, well, for the purpose of this story, that's exactly right. Sure. So let me explain what it is.
Of course.
Well, it's a contest in which male competitors race against each other while carrying a female teammate. Now, the objective is for the male to carry the female through a special obstacle track in the fastest time.
An obstacle course.
Well,
so you're not just carrying your wife, you're carrying her through an obstacle course. Oh, this sounds.
Yes, it is. Oh, there is an obstacle course. Yes, it is. Okay, now, and again, it goes back and traces its original roots to a specific town in Finland, and I'm going to try to pronounce it correctly. It's Sankajarvi. And I'll have some further information about Sankajarvi as we continue on with the story.
Good enough. No, that's good.
But now, so there's several types of carrying that can be considered wife carrying. There's the classic piggyback
that we can talk about.
Well, yes, we can talk about this. There is the classic piggyback, a fireman's carry over the shoulder, and then the Estonian style, which is where the wife is upside down on his back with her legs over the neck and shoulders. And that's actually a popular carrying style or technique. You can find that on the internet if you choose.
Oh, I have. I mentioned before the show that I remember doing a story about wife carrying a long time ago. And you're right, John. This is what John wants he and I and our wives to do right here.
Oh my God!
Look at that, Carrie. Could you and Rich get into that position? Don't answer that.
Well, I won't. But my question is, will Donnabelle do that?
I don't know. Well, it depends on what the prize is.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about what's the reward at the end, right? Sure.
Yes. No, don't spoil it, John.
I won't. So, but as for the history of wife carrying, okay, it originated in Finland, and in Finland is referred to as Yukon Kanto, and over time, tales have been told of a man named Herkko Raso Ronkanen, and he is also known as Ronkanen the Robber. As legend has it, he lived in Finland in the late 1800s, and what makes him unique is the fact that he lived by himself, isolated in a large forest, and he ran around with a gang of thieves, and these thieves caused real harm to several villages nearby. So, first of all, Rostov, Ronkanen, and his thieves were accused of stealing food and even women away from the villages that were in the area that he lived in.
Aha.
And then actually carrying these women, as they ran away. So hence,
Finland. So they used the fireman carry.
Right. Hence the term wife or woman carrying was born.
Okay.
The second idea is that young men would go to neighboring villages, actually steal other men's wives away from there, and then marry these women themselves.
My dad used to talk about it.
Really? Anyways, so this
Bohemians, I think they did that too.
Anything's possible in Europe. Anyway,
that's for sure.
So wait a minute. This practice was referred to as the practice of wife stealing. Okay, they actually refer to it as a practice. But anyway, lastly, the idea that Raso Ronkanen trained his thieves to be faster and stronger by carrying large, heavy sacks on their backs, from which evolved this sport. So,
so sport. That's the key word there, John, because this picture showed a finish line, which means that this is really, they treat this as a sport someplace. So let's talk about.
Oh, they do. Yeah, exactly.
Sport,
sure.
The actual sport of wife carrying.
I don't want to be hanging over my husband.
Oh wait, I got a better picture for you, Karen. Well, I want to get. Let's talk about the rules.
That's coming up. But anyways, but for the record, wife carrying contests have taken place in Austria, the U.S., Hong Kong, India, Germany, the UK, and other parts of the world besides Finland, Sweden, Estonia, and Latvia. And it has a specific category in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Of course.
So it's a category. So again, it's recognized. And as you would imagine, there is a specific organization that governs this sport. It is named the International Wife Carrying Competition Rules Committee.
There you go.
Let me repeat that.
Oh, it's official. No, you don't need to repeat it.
Yeah, please don't repeat.
Get to the rules. I believe you, John.
Okay. So wait a minute. So going back to the original courses, okay, that these people ran on, they were rough, rocky terrain with fences and running brooks, but now the courses have been suited. They've been altered to accommodate more of a modern type setting. There is now sand instead of rocks, fences and areas filled with water, similar to a small swimming pool. So those obstacles, again, are on all courses for
Okay.
people that are in this type of competition.
And
Here
how
are the-
long is the course?
Sure, here are the rules. The length of the official track is 25.3 meters. Okay,
That's like 700 some feet, almost 800 feet.
right,
That's a
right.
long way.
It's a pretty good distance.
It is.
And the track
yeah.
has 2 dry obstacles and 1 water obstacle. The water obstacle is typically a meter deep. So this is
great.
European.
Oh, so
These are
you're going to run through
European.
3 feet of water with your wife on your shoulders.
Well, hey, some people do it. I mean,
Obviously, you think we're going to do it, John.
well, I'll get back to you on that one. Paul, I'll get back to you on that one. So anyways, so the wife that is to be carried may be your own. It could be your neighbor's wife.
Oh, my neighbor's got a skinny wife.
Whoa.
All right, I like this now. Okay, game's back on.
Yeah, really, or a woman that you may have just found on the playing field. It could be any
Oh,
one of
that's
those.
even better.
Right. However,
We go recruiting.
the rules stipulate that the female must be at least 17 years of age.
Oh, of course, yeah.
At least
You don't wanna
17. Okay, now
break any
the,
laws.
the minimum weight of the wife to be carried is 49 kilograms or 108 pounds.
Oh, 108 pounds. Okay.
Wait,
108 pounds. Okay.
Okay, well, wait. If she weighs less than 49 kilograms, she will be burdened with rucksack
She needs to hold
containing
on to
additional
something. in
weight
hand.
to bring the total load carried to at least 49
Oh,
kilograms.
this is like the Kentucky Derby.
Well,
Yeah, the jockeys.
For
So
lack
you
of a
gotta carry a bag of flour.
Hey, listen, hey, for lack of a better phrase, it's to make it a fair playing field. Everybody's got to be
Oh,
all right. Okay. Now, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
you don't want any cheating in the wife carrying.
Wait a minute. But this sport is also very. It's not very costly. It doesn't expensive. It doesn't
Okay,
cost.
that's good for us.
Well,
Okay.
yes, it is. The only equipment allowed during the competition is a large belt worn by the carrier and a helmet to be worn by the carried woman. Okay,
Hold your
Thank you.
pants up.
that's got to be done. Okay.
And the helmet. Oh, so only the woman gets to wear the helmet, not the man.
That's correct. That
Probably
is-
gonna
that's
drop her
correct.
on her head.
Right,
Look,
right.
here-
Sure.
Karen. Okay, Karen. Here's a picture of a lady with the helmet on her head.
No.
There's the position. That's a much better visual of what it looks like for
That's a
white.
very good visual. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I don't
So-
think.
Yeah. So make sure your wife sees that, John, before you agree.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure she'll want to find out as much information as she can before she's going to say no way. But anyway,
No kidding. Yeah.
okay. Wait a minute. So now, also, each contestant is responsible for his or her safety, and if necessary, insurance as well. So it's up to the individual competitors.
Oh,
There's
there could be you could pull a muscle or worse.
No, yeah, for sure. Sure.
ACL.
Okay. So
But can you imagine going to the emergency room with what they trying to explain? Well, my wife hit her head and I got a hamstring.
well,
Is this going to be covered by insurance?
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
okay.
okay. So anyway, so these are world
Wait, there's
championships.
more.
No, there is more. There's world championships that are held in Europe. Okay.
World Championship.
World championships.
So you win your country's title, and then
Well, wait, if you remember about the origin, again,
Yeah.
where the town where it originated, well, it's right there in Sankajavari, Finland. And these
there's some
competitions,
incentive. Okay.
right, these competitions have occurred every year since 1992. Now, the main prize is winning, the wife's weight in beer. Whatever the wife's weight is,
Jewel.
that's
beer.
beer
Really?
that they will have. And again, the beer must be consumed by all in attendance.
Oh, so you don't even get to take it home with you.
Nope. You have to share it with everyone, share the wealth.
Share it with
that kind of
everyone.
thing.
Oh boy, yeah,
I
our
don't
wife's not
like
going to agree to
beer.
that at all. No.
Now,
If it
let's-
was gold or jewelry or
well,
truffles or
that's again, that's
your weight in
that's how it
truffles.
runs
Now,
with
that'd
the
be
sport.
pretty
I mean, if you want to compete and you want to win, then that's what you win. But so it is. But wait, the North American
wait,
wife carrying, wait a minute, there's wife carrying championships also that are held in North America.
Oh,
And
good.
they're actually held they're actually going to be held this Friday, October 9th, 2020, because they are held at the Sunday River Ski Resort in Newry, Maine.
Oh, maybe we could go, or maybe it's on TV. We could watch it.
Well, for those of you
Wide
who are
world of wife
interested,
carrying.
for those of you who are interested, I would ask you to consult the internet because the rules will be different this year.
Oh,
And I will not tell you what they are because of the social distancing and because we're dealing with the virus. So,
Well, I'm sure they have to wear a mask.
how do you?
well, you would think so, Karen. You would think
Where
so.
does your wife wear the mask? That's
Oh,
Here it
boy.
is. Yeah, that's right. There we go. That's
I think we went too far now.
That's further evidence, or that's further proof that this will not take place for Annette and I.
nor for the lovely Donna and I. I think you
would think
said
so,
it,
Paul.
John.
I would think so.
Very good.
I'll tell you what, I want to, speaking of your lovely wife, I want to thank her because I know she had a little bit of a hand in this story.
Well, she actually did, Paul, because I asked her, I said, hey, we're looking for new sports that we can talk about on What in the World. And she said, wait a second. So she took her phone, she dialed them up, and she came up with 6 of them. And this is the first one that came up. And so
Very good.
Boy, you need to
yes.
get for that phone,
So,
John.
so
See what
thanks
else
to
she's
Annette.
got on there. What she might be planning for you for your next birthday or something.
Ah,
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh my goodness. As always, John DiNallo, what in the world of sports? Tune in for that.
You got that going for you.
That sure beats the toilet on the space station.
That's right. That's exactly right. Oh my.
Holy smoke. All right. Well, we still have a little bit of time here, which means that the hilarity hasn't stopped yet. We still have Bluff the co-host coming up.
whoa.
Bluff the whoa is right. As if you've toned in before, there's that Popeye keeps kicking in here. If you tuned in before, I am what I am. The Bluff the co-host is a game we play. I have 3 stories that are very similar to the ones we've been talking about all afternoon, with the exception that those are always true. The stories in Bluff the co-host may all be true. They may all be false. They may be something in between. And it's up to Karen and John and you playing at home or playing along. I know we have a number of people who play along on YouTube. So sign into YouTube. You can be part of the fun as well. So without further ado, let's get right to story number 1, hands on the buzzers. This fits right in. If you can't find a woman to go to the pub with you, a man in England decided to take his pet geese. Taking his pet geese is the next best thing. He bought the geese to keep him company during the pandemic lockdown. And now that the pubs have reopened and are allowing pets, he takes them with him for a pint. They must practice social distancing and they must wear diapers. That's right. Specially designed diapers for the huge birds because geese have a bad reputation for leaving a mess. The pens and Huggies don't come in goose sizes, but he found a company in Virginia that makes them, along with instructions on sizing your goose and videos on how to get your goose into one. Needless to say, when his buddies at the pub see him coming, they quack up. So the man in England who takes his pet geese to the pub with him, but they must wear special geese diapers. Karen, real or bluff?
I can visualize this, sadly.
Oh, geez. See, that's what John's stories do to us.
I'm going to say, because people have so many different kinds of pets and feel like their pet should be with them all the time, I'm going to say it's true.
Oh, okay. All right. So Karen says it's true. John, how about you?
You know, Paul, I'm going to say it's true also. I think that, geese are very, very popular in the UK And with the pandemic, like you said,
As
I mean,
pets?
I
Okay,
guess,
all right, all
no,
right.
that's my reasoning on that. But
Okay, so you
yeah, I'm
make
gonna say
a
it's
good
true.
case. You both make a good case for it.
Okay.
And you're both right. It's a real story.
All right, very good, Karen. Way to go.
Very lonely man and very happy geese, except when he's putting the, and never mind. So anyways,
Leave that one alone.
let's move on to story number 2. The man who claims to be the inventor of the spell check software in Microsoft Word says he never got paid adequately for it and left Microsoft when the market was down and his stock options were almost worthless. So he decided to go over to the dark side. He has invented an app that corrects the spelling in one form of writing that has never had a spell checker, Ransom Notes. He calls it Ransom with an O because so many people can't spell the word. The app prints correctly spelled ransom notes using a new font that prints large letters as if they were cut randomly out of magazines, just like a real ransom note. The author wishes to remain anonymous for obvious reasons, but says anyone who needs a ransom note should be able to find him on the internet. And the app is well worth the price, citing statistics proving that correctly spelled ransom notes are more likely to be paid.
Oh my
John, how's your logic on this one?
Well, I'll tell you, Paul, I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray to God that that's false. Like, how can that be? You're aiding a crime. You're an accessory to a criminal activity. That's crazy. I'm going to say it's false. I'm praying it's false.
Praying it's false. Okay, Karen.
You know, it better be false. Because when Microsoft Word was put together and they ended up with their spell checker back in those days, they were really doing fairly well. So I would believe the person got paid for it. Yeah, I think
Bringing history into it.
yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Paul, before I forget, you
Yes.
have a friend listening today. His name is Paul Reed.
Paul Reed. Oh, hello, Paul. Oh, yeah. We worked together on a television show.
Okay.
Thank you for tuning in, Paul. So anyways, if you're playing along and if you agree with Karen and John, they're both right again. Wow.
Wow.
There's
Karen,
a first. There's a first.
Yeah.
Both of you getting
we can't
both
stand the
correct.
prosperity here. What's going on? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move right on to story number 3 and see if you both get a perfect record. Remember, the points are double.
Okay.
A man in England, we're back in England again. A man in England is hoping his love of bananas helps bring him good luck after he unpeeled an unusually large one and discovered there were 2 whole bananas inside the skin. A banana expert who saw the photo the man posted on the internet said it was indeed good luck for the banana, since oversized bananas are usually thrown out by stores and rarely picked by shoppers because of their strange size. For this man, bigger is definitely better, since he's still alive after eating the double banana in the traditional way instead of making a banana split. Now, if only it will help him get a date. So the man in England didn't have geese. He went to the store to get some bananas, another lonely man, and buys a huge banana, opens it up, and there's 2 bananas in the skin. John, what do you say? Real or bluff?
I'm going to say it's real.
Really?
I'm going to say it's real.
Okay.
So
How about you? The double banana.
unpeels it, and there's 2 bananas in there. It could have been a crossbreed. So, yeah.
So Karen says it's real. Obviously overthinking this one. I've rubbed off on you. And John also says it's real. Do I have that correct? Both
That is
of you think it's real.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to answer that question with a picture.
Oh my, see, it was a crossbreed.
Isn't that,
Good call,
isn't that amazing? Yeah.
How about that?
Extremely rare. Okay. It's believed to bring good luck, believe it or not. So if you see a giant banana at the store, John, you might want to get one. Don't get into a fight over it with some lady who wants.
That's right. Yes, I saw it first.
Yeah.
There you go. That's right. So thank you again for playing, John, and a perfect record for both of you. Congratulations to you.
Hey, thanks. Good job, Karen.
Thank you.
John,
You too.
thank you for What in the World of Sports. As always, Karen, thank you for all that you do at newclevelandradio.net. Everybody listening, please go to her site. There's plenty of podcasts besides What in the World. Thank you to all of you for tuning in, whether you're live, whether you're listening to us in the future. We love you. We love to have you back next week on What in the World. See you then.
And just in case, Paul, if they listen next week, they are alive.
Oh, they are live. Okay.
Yeah. Have a great day.
Popeye.
everybody.
Hey, I am what I am.
Have a great week.